Well, here we are. Draft day, baby. It is draft day. Big Sills, National Football Show. By the way, what an absolutely spectacular night we have lined up for you at Oceans Casino with our draft show tonight. Right here, JAKIB Media Sports. Make sure you're there, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, giving you the wall-to-wall coverage of not only the Eagle draft, but also what's going to go on in the NFL draft. By the way, I want to start the show off by saying this. No. We had a family emergency, Chris, and we had to stay behind a little bit because we had a family emergency is the only reason that we're not there in Atlantic City for the festivities. There's going to be a great band tonight. So just make sure, man, everybody has a great time tonight. That's not what happened, Chris. We had a little family issue. We move on because tonight is a big night. It's the National Football League's draft. I want to start the show off by doing this, guys. I'm going to give you, by the way, and I'm going to recap my NFL draft first round, okay? But I'm also going to tell you, guys, how many true first rounders do you think are in this NFL draft this year? I say there's about 14 or 15. I know, Bob, right? Feels like Christmas. I say there's truly about 14 or 15 true first-round draft choices in this draft this year. This is why I don't think Howie Roseman, the general manager of the Eagles, can screw this thing up. Unless he just completely goes off the board with players that we've never heard of or people that they really haven't had a lot of intel on, or there's not a lot of game tape on, or there's not a lot of information from Bledsoe or from scouting services, or you didn't get a chance to see at the combines. Unless you completely go off the reservation, in my opinion, I don't think Howie can screw this up. I don't. Here, let's recap here what the picks are going to be. And to me, I think this is really going to be an exceptional night for Howie Roseman, okay? The picks tonight. Number 15 came from the Dolphins, and number 18 from the Saints. Round 2, number 51. Round 3, number 83, and 101 from the Saints. Round 4, 124. These are all premium picks. Round 5, 154 from the Commanders, 162, Eagles' own pick, 166 from the Cardinals, and in round 7, 237, this came via the Saints. All in all, there's 10 picks tonight. If Howie lands on needs in every single one of these picks, it really doesn't determine what the player's name is, folks, or the order. Let's do this here tonight. Before I do anything, when it comes to giving you my draft, don't give a particular order. Let's all land on the needs going into tonight's draft. Let's exclude the quarterback. Let's take I know, right? This is going to be like the first time that, hey, no, Maniac, no. I started the show off by saying that we had a family emergency. That's the only reason we're not in Atlantic City or we'd be there, okay? Just so you know, okay? It's going to be a great time tonight. Massive party. It's going to be a great time for everybody. Do me a favor. Give me the needs of the team. And again, the draft order is not as important as identifying what the needs will be. What do you think the needs are? I'm going to write a couple of them down here. I've got edge, cornerback, free safety, wide receiver, linebacker. Seth says DE, DT, corner. How about this too, punter? DEDT, safety, linebacker, wide receiver. Says vape. LT needs O-line, wide receiver, linebacker, DE. Go Birds, cornerback, edge, safety, linebacker, wide receiver, cornerback. Draft day, big sales. Got the bottle of whiskey early. Good job, Sean. Hey, Duck, I'm with the punter, man. Forgot punter. It's all good. Cornerback, 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 quarterback. This is 252. Big picking. Second round. 7th, running back, wide receiver, LB. I like where you guys are all going. I think we're kind of all – do we all agree, guys? The sequencing here is going to be by best player available in a draft. I think this is going to be one of the easiest drafts to land on good players. You know why? It's a really decent draft. There's only 14 first-rounders. Really, there's about 14 or 15 legitimate first-rounders that are in this draft. The rest of them, I'd say this, from 14 down in the first round, they're all second and third round guys. So if Howie trades down, even at 15 or 18, you're pretty much going to get the same kind of value. Okay? Do we agree? This is not the strongest first round that we've seen in recent memory. Legitimately, there's 15 first rounders. That was my evaluation on it too. And talking to some general managers, that's what this is not a littered 32 first rounders where you see guys that's like the kid Cross from Maryland and Kyle Hamilton. The separation between those two guys is minuscule. This is not going to be big picking, first 15, then 60 to. That's so good, Pickin. Pickin's right there. 16 to 50, you're pretty much going to get the same value. Why overextend yourself when you can get a wide receiver in the second round with the same production, and potentially you don't have to give up a high-value pick? Hell, like I said, I think Howie's trading down at 18. He's trading down at 18. So again, 10 picks for the Eagles. Remember, I don't think the sequence is as important in this draft as it's been in recent memory. If I'm Howie and I get down to the 15th pick, I'm going to take best player available on a need linebacker. I'm not going to put a punter in the first round. It's probably the only one I'll exclude. Edge, okay? Cornerback. You've got to have a plan here. It's not from 15 down, the names aren't important. The need's important more. Do you guys follow me here? Duck, get a bunch. Duck, I think if you had a boat, I'll tell you this, Duck. If I didn't have any first rounders and I had a shitload of 2s and 3s, I'd feel pretty good about that. I think what everyone falls in love with, and I think you have to temper people's expectations. In a draft like this, having a first-round draft choice at the top of this draft, okay. But there's not a game-changing guy on this board, in my opinion. There's not a game changer. DTDE cornerback, Duck says. So Bob, that's why Howie, actually, that Saints trade is looking like a brilliant move now. I'm really getting to understand a little bit more where Roseman's mentality is here. As I said yesterday, Barrett was right. Free agency right now, hey, man, you're going to overpay for guys in free agency. You're going to be squeezed against the cap for the next 3 years. Howie's notion is this. This is not the best draft that we've seen in recent memory. There's quality kids in here who can make your football team and your roster better. But if you have a boatload of 2s and 3s, which they do over the next 2 years, they're going to be able to transform this roster in the next 2 years. It's not so important to look at this year's draft and say, well, we're going to improve exponentially from last year. You may not, because you know why? I don't know if there's a game changer in this draft. Okay? Hell, get this. The punter from Arizona or San Diego State may actually be the biggest game-changing guy if they were able to land on him, because he's a field position changer. What up, Ernest? Thanks for coming aboard, man. So I'll never understand Howie. LT, follow me here, though. He doesn't want the team at salary cap hell. You're already $35 million of dead cap money on your salary cap today. As of today, you still got Alshon Jeffries on that deal. And as I've been repeating, there's only 14 or 15 first-rounders in this draft. I don't see after 15 a shitload of kids where I go, wow, I can't wait. You know, the Sauce Gardner kid looks like a player. Stingley, I don't know. 2019 was his best year. The rest of it has been inconsistent. By the way, Matt Corral, I'm going to hit on him because Easy Money loves that kid. I watched game film on him, and I'm going to tell you what my problem is with him. Okay? All right, I'm going to get into my draft, and I'm going to go, hopefully this lands on one of your teams. Okay? And I'm just going to repeat from a couple days ago. I believe that Trayvon Walker, defensive lineman from Georgia, is going to be the first pick by the Jaguars. Okay? Now, from what I'm understanding, there's a difference of opinion in the building there with Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke already. The owner, Shay Khan, may actually have to break the tie here. Doug wants an O-lineman. Trent's talking this kid here. You know, when I go back and I look at Trayvon Walker, my only concern with him going number 1 to the Jags is this. He's being gauged more as the number 1 pick off his combine instead of the production that he had at Georgia. Kobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Wyatt, these other kids were more productive. And when you look at Walker, he really shot up the draft charts because of the combines. Okay? I think it's between an O-lineman and Walker. I'm going to land on Walker here, okay? But I wouldn't be shocked if Doug ends up going, and we're going to find out too who has to say, because I think Doug wants the O-lineman. DS, thoughts on Jameson Williams? Another Sydney project? LT, let me get through my draft, and let me write that down so I remember. And thank you very much, LT. I'll get to that here in a minute, okay? LT, I'll get to that. Look, I think Aiden Hutchinson's going to go number 2, and I think he goes to the Lions. I'm not a high. I'm not high on him. I'm really not. I think he's going to be a solid football player. But the number 2 pick, see, here's what I have. What's this? All these guys that I'm going to mention here could play in the league. But to be the number 2 pick, really? That's like Lawrence Taylor stuff. Just to show you. Bob says Davis dropped 20 pounds for the combine. He's not running a 4.7 at 350. Could be a Ted Washington. I'll tell you what, though, man. Okay? He's a productive athlete, though. He had 43 career starts at Michigan. If you ask the scouts about him, he's got a high motor, all that stuff, all the cliches you hear. That's a great take right there, too, by Smile. I'll take Ted Washington, too, a run-stopping gap stopper. Ask the Patriots if they'll take Vince Wilfork. At 15, okay, I'll take Ted Washington. That's a great take, Smile. Ted Washington, Sam Adams, those guys perennial run stoppers. Okay, if he turns out to be a guy who gets me 4 sacks, and all of a sudden, can you get this for a second, though, on Jordan Davis? So if you have the number one rushing offense in the NFL, and you have the number one rush defense in the NFL, how do you think you're going to do in the playoffs? How do you think you're going to do during the regular season? If you have the number one rush defense and number one rush offense, how do you think you're going to do? Are you good with that? Could you win ball games if you were leading? And by the way, doesn't that remind you of your 2017 team? Okay? You're going to be a good football team, right, W2? You're number one in rushing and number two in stopping the run. Number one in stopping the run. Hey, I'm gonna win a lot of ball games, man. I'm gonna win a lot of ball games. So he turns out to be that guy. I'm okay with that at 15. If Hutchinson turns out to be a guy who gets me 4 sacks and he's the second player taken, I'm not okay with that. That means this: if I were the Lions, I would have traded down and got another edge rusher, maybe the kid from Purdue. And I could have acquired more seconds and thirds, where most of these kids, like one of you said, hey, from the 15th pick to the 50th pick, these guys are all in the same boat. That's right, Pickin'. That's cool at 15. Hey, man, if they get Devin Lloyd, and I'm picking they will, because I'm going to go here with you. I think the Texans are going to take Iwakanu from NC State. The general manager, Nick Caserio, absolutely is falling in love with this guy. Just loves him. Athletic, a physical mauler. In my opinion, I think he's better than Neal. Keeps engaged. He is a good-looking football player. At number 4, the Jets. Now, there's some rumors going around, as there always is when we get into the draft here, that the Jets and the 49ers are talking about Deebo Samuel. And they're talking potentially ascending Deebo Samuel to the Jets. And the Jets surrendering one of their first-round picks and a second. That's what they would be willing to give up for Deebo Samuel. There's conversations between John Lynch and the Jets right now. So that could happen as we get closer to the draft. So keep an eye on that. But as of right now, you just drafted Zach Wilson. You got to protect the kid. Okay? You got to protect him. Charles Cross, offensive line, New York Giants. By the way, Daniel Jones' fifth-year option was not picked up by the New York Giants today. Of course it wasn't. And if he happens to have – hey, you talk about another guy who's auditioning for his career? Daniel Jones in New York. Same thing as Jalen Hurts this year. But see, the difference here is you're not going to be in purgatory now. And the Giants, it's a brilliant move. You know why? Do you want to be in that Baker Mayfield situation where you pick up the fifth-year option at $23 million? You can't move the guy because he's garbage, and you're stuck with the kid. If he happens to have a great year, you sign him to a franchise tag, and then you see if he could play another year in the same light. Brian Dable maybe can work with him. You don't know. But what you don't want to have happen is what happened in Cleveland. You don't want to have that contract wrapped around your neck and you can't do anything with the player, they're probably going to have to cut Baker Mayfield. Jesse, I do think Zach Wilson's a bust. I think he's got more of a chance than Justin Fields because I think his arm is better. And he was in more of a system that kind of is more of a pro system than that Ohio State system. Ohio State doesn't produce quarterbacks. I don't care what anybody – when are you going to learn? When we talk about Ohio State quarterbacks, people are talking about C.J. Stroud. We do this every year with that organization and that program. They don't produce. They had Joe Burrow in the room and couldn't figure it out with him. Think of that. They had Joe Burrow, and they didn't think he was good enough. Their talent evaluators at that position are not good. Why would I think C.J. Stroud's going to be a player next year when they've never developed one? Stroud's going to be the number one. Good luck to you. He may break the bank. He may break the mold. I doubt it. Hasn't been a quarterback in 157 years in Ohio State. Doesn't make sense how people keep going down the same road. Panthers, I think, take Evan Neal. Could I see them taking Malik Willis here? I can. I can see them taking him. Okay? That's right. The black edge. Dude, they have athletes playing quarterback. And they always have. They've never had quarterbacks in that building. They look at a guy at quarterback who's slow like Burrow and don't think he could play quarterback. When in theory, it's about reading defenses, not about taking off running. Okay? Hey, Arch Seaster played at Ohio State. That's your go-to? Okay. Number 7, I think they take Kyle Hamilton. Giants have 2 first-round picks in the top 10. I'm not a big fan of him at 7. To me, Kyle Hamilton, if Kyle Hamilton is down in the 20s, I'm okay. But I'm okay with the kid from Maryland too. I'd rather take the kid from Maryland at either 2 and 3 than use a first-round draft choice. I'd rather trade out of my pick, get Cross in the 3rd, than take Kyle Hamilton with the 7th pick. Kyle Hamilton, is he a first-rounder? He probably fits in that boat as one of the 14 guys that I would pick. Falcons, Drake London, wide receiver, USC. You're going to put him on the other side of Kyle Pitts, okay? Kyle Pitts, they're not building that football team for Marcus Mariota. They got $38 million of dead cap money because of the Matt Ryan trade. That's on their books this year. They're going to get out of purgatory next year once that contract gets off their books and it gets solely put on the Indianapolis Colts books. They got a bunch of dead cap money. That's why Marcus Mariota is going to be the starting quarterback in Atlanta. He's cheap. He's not going to be anything but a bridge guy. So to me, this makes perfect sense. And look what you have. Kyle Pitts, maybe Calvin Ridley. You don't know what's going to happen. Do they keep him? I think other teams would probably be a little nervous now because of the betting stuff. So if I'm the Falcons, I may just keep him. Can you imagine this? Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. If you're going to go get a quarterback, that's a pretty good look for your team. Then you can go in rounds 2, 3, and 4 and build the O-line up around them. I'm with you, Brandon. Braden, I don't know. I mean, I'm not as big on him either, but the Falcons love him. I got a projected trade here. Texans trade the 13th overall and an early 3rd-round pick. 68th overall to the Seahawks for the 9th pick. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver. Look, Davis Mills, in my opinion, I think I want to see more of him. I want to see more of him. I think he's got a chance to be a pretty decent football player. You know, I know he's not a sexy name, but I want to see a little bit more of him. And you need to start building that football team with some superstars. I'm going to get to the Eagles here in a second. You know what? Here, real quick, let me stop here at number 9. Who's the biggest star in the Eagles right now? Who's the biggest star on the Eagles? Who would you say is the biggest star? I'm at 9 right now, so I'll pick up from there. Who is like your big play guy? Slay? Your corner? Okay, Slay. Smith? 950-yard receiver is your big play guy? Big Pickett says, we have none yet. Drew, I'm just saying, Jeremiah, Jalen Hurts is not a star player. Mulata and Slay. Jalen Hurts, Davey Boy says, is the biggest star. Well, you got a problem then. You don't have any stars on your team. You don't have any game changers. Jordan Mailata? Jordan Mailata, in my opinion, is your best player on your team. He's your best player. Am I wrong? Jordan Mailata, I could see him playing 15 years and putting 10 Pro Bowls up. I don't see anybody else on that team like that. Howie. Okay? Right? You got an offensive tackle who's your biggest star right now. That's not a good place to be. Let's pick it up from 10. I think the nation is going to say Mulata's Eagles. Jalen is not a national face. Smith will be a Pro Bowler next year. Okay? We'll see. Who's getting him the ball? Jalen? All right. I think the Jets, okay, if they don't make this move for Debo, I think they take Jameson Williams. The problem I have with the Jets, because this is a very Jets move here, you got to find out if Zach Wilson can play now. And having Jameson Williams available in October doesn't help the process of figuring out if Zach Wilson's the guy. Okay? But this is very Jets-like. Very Jets-like. They'll take a guy that they're going to try. Is Jameson Williams one of the 14 guys that I would say, 15 guys that's a first-rounder? Yes. And healthy, he'd be probably a top 5. You know what? I wouldn't think he'd be the first player taken, but he'd be in that top 5 if he didn't have that ACL injury. What up, Matt? Appreciate you coming aboard. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. You guys were awesome yesterday, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. It was my 1-year anniversary. So I say Jameson Williams goes to the Jets. Number 11, Chris Olave, wide receiver. There is no question about it here. And then you put Olave on the other side of Terry McLaurin for Carson Wentz. It'd be the best wide receiving core that Carson Wentz has ever had. Philly, Indy, we had Michael Pitts there last year. T.Y. Hilton was injured. He didn't really have any wide receivers when he was in Philadelphia. Okay? I mean, to me, you know, you're starting to build an offense now in Washington. You put Olave on that football team. Remember something with Wentz. You know, I'm just talking his numbers here. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks, 3,700 yards, 94 quarterback rating. You have more of an opportunity to move the chains here. Wentz is I'll give that to you. Wentz is a flake. I'm with you, Vape. I'm just saying how they're looking at it. They feel comfortable with him. Big Pickens probably right on there. Okay? Davey Boy too, maybe. Wentz will still F it up. Okay? Chris, you're right too, man. And Pickens right. Ownership is a massive issue there. It gets in the way, in my opinion, of the play on the field. I completely agree. Minnesota, I think Stingley falls here. Can't figure this kid out, man. You know what? And I'll tell you something. You want to hear something? I watched Jamison Williams against him. No, excuse me. It was Devontae Smith against him. Devontae Smith, his last year at Bama, ate his ass up. Ate his ass up. His best film was in 19. Okay? It was in 19. And he's just been okay. The 2020 year too, man. It was like he was consistently getting beat. That UCLA game a year ago, he was terrible in it. I've been watching a boatload of film, guys. 13. Seahawks. Projected trade here for me. Texans trade to 13th overall, and this is where they fall down. Kayvon Thibodeau, edge rusher, goes to the Seattle Seahawks at number 13. The more I watch this kid, the more I like him with his hands. He's a little smaller than I would like. He's not like a Chase Young. He's not like a Micah Parsons kind of size guy. That kind of nerves me a little bit. Plus, it's the Pac-12. Okay? Yeah, Bob. Stingley's that. You got a good, like, I'll tell you something. Stingley on the other side of Darius Slay, that'd be great to see. That'd be great to see. It would be. By the way, no guests today. It's all us. We're all going to go through this draft. And again, remember what I told you. It's not so much important in this draft of all the drafts I've ever covered. Okay? Who you take at 15 as long as you land on sequence. Edge, corner, free safety, wide receiver, linebacker, later rounds, punter. Maybe if you want another tight end. Maybe if you want another O-lineman. You got 10 picks. The sequencing, and what I mean by that is, best. If I am Howie, from 15 down, I go best player available. Because this draft is going to, when you get down, folks, when you get down to the 15th pick, it's going to be like picking in the second round. Okay? Unless some guys fall. You know who could screw this up? Teams taking quarterbacks. Okay? Just know this. From 15 down, it's going to be like picking in the second round. And when you get in the second round, there's going to be no difference between the 15th pick, and I guarantee you, I have figured Howie out. It's why he's acquiring all these picks. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys, Howie did a really great thing by getting all those picks from the Saints. It's actually brilliant because talking to Bledsoe people and talking to scouts, guys, from 15 all the way down to 32, they're not first rounders. They're not first rounders. You're going to be okay. And you're going to see a guy go in the second, you're going to go, why would, because they're almost duplicating positions. 15 players are in this draft that are legitimate first rounders. The rest of them, from 15 to 50, are the same guy. That's why he can't screw this up. I've got Trayvon Penny going to Baltimore. They need offensive line help for Lamar Jackson. Getting a little light in the tooth there. I think they go offensive line, in my opinion, at 14. Eagles, this is what I suggest, and I suggested this the other day. Jordan Davis, defensive tackle. How about this, too? I'm going to go back and show you guys something. This is my first mock draft. See what I put down there? Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie, I put that down there. I don't know why I moved off that, but I think you could flip a coin. Okay? I think you could flip a coin here. Trent McDuffie or Jordan Davis. Okay? No, Chris. I told you this, Chris. When Howie's right, he's right. A scout told me last night there's only 15 first rounders, and then I got it. Wasn't somebody from the Eagles telling me this. Somebody who I respect. Okay, I talked to Bill Polian. Tom Telesco, and Kevin Colbert of the Steelers. And you know what their all consensus was? There's between 14 to 15 legitimate first rounders in this draft. And the rest of them are all the same. That's why people want to move down, not up. Do you know why Jerry Jones wants to move up? He needs offensive line help. That's why Jerry wants to move. They're getting long in the tooth, and they're getting too expensive in the O-line. I got them taking Jordan Davis. The best thing about Davis is his 4.78 at 341 pounds. Okay? Here's an issue, though. In 47 games, this is some of the things that you guys have been saying. In 47 games at Georgia, which is a lot of tape, he had 20 tackles for losses. Okay? In my 13 starts at Miami, I had 15. Okay? I just don't see a lot of production. However, his athleticism and kind of what we talked about a little bit. So he turns out to be Ted Washington at 15. Am I okay with Ted Washington on my team? Am I okay with the Eagles having the number one run-stopping defense and the number one rushing attack in the NFL? Can I win games like that? Hell, I could probably win 10 ball games a year like that, and I'm building and solidifying my foundation as being what they were in 17, a dominant D-line and a dominant O-line. You imagine if you find the pass rusher, how about Hassan Reddick? What if he has 10.5 sacks this coming year? And you put in a guy who helps you get your run defense down. You tell me how that defense will look. Andrew, thanks for coming aboard, man. 16, I got Treylon Burks, wide receiver, going to New Orleans. Number 17, I got Trent McDuffie, cornerback, going to the Chargers. Can you imagine how good the Chargers are going to be this year? J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel. Man, then you got Derwin James back there. Dude, the Chargers are going to be good. They're going to be fantastic. Number 18, this is where I think the Eagles make a move here. I think the Eagles are going to trade out of this pick and trade down between 21 and 32. They're going to pick up an additional second and third, which would be smart, guys. Remember, start putting this in your head. This is not a deep first round talent evaluation draft. You have to know that. Why would you who likes overpaying for things? Why would you overpay when I can get the same product and production, pick up another pick to solidify the holes that we've all been talking about for the last 4 months? Right? It makes sense. 19, Devontae Wyatt, New Orleans. Dennis Allen, he's the new head coach of the Saints. You know he's going to go defense. He's going to want to put his stamp on this draft. He's going to put him right next to Cam Jordan. Number 20, I think the Steelers are going to take a quarterback, and it wouldn't be shocked if they take Malik Willis. I know that Kenny Pickett is probably what everyone's talking, and they are looking at Kenny Pickett. I'll give you my assessment also on what people are talking now about with Matt Corral. I'll tell you something. Matt Corral has troubles with the deep pass. Kurt Warner told me that. That's from Kurt Warner's mouth. He's not very accurate throwing the plus 25 pass. That's Kurt Warner, not me. I said, Kurt, he goes, if you can't make the big deep pass, okay, and you're not consistent throwing the deep pass, you can't make it, and you can't be a franchise quarterback in the NFL. That's from Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner, now he was also like this. Let's see the kid play. Let's see if the kid can translate his game from Ole Miss to the NFL. But the film he said he watched, he struggles with throwing the deep pass. Drew says sounds like Hurts. Absolutely. Okay? That's not me saying this. Okay? That's Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback, making that assessment. At number 21, offensive tackle, Central Michigan, Bernhard Raymond. Belichick has to start putting people and pieces around Mac Jones, and they have to start retooling that offensive line. Number 22, this is where I think the Eagles trade out of 18 and get down to 22, and I think they take Devin Lloyd. And I'm going to stick with it, even though there's a part of me that still thinks Trent McDuffie's going to be there at 15, and that'll be Howie's pick. I think it's a coin flip between those two. But I think they shock the world and they get Devin Lloyd at 22. They move down with Green Bay. And he picks up an additional third rounder from the Packers for that move down. So then Howie will pick up an 11th pick for moving down, and he'll have 11 picks. And look what that'll mean. How many picks in rounds 2 and 3 will that give him in this year's draft? 1, 2, 3, 4 picks in rounds 2 and 3. Guys are the same. The guys are the same. You're not gonna be defeated in this draft after 15 if you're smart and stick to your needs and go best player. There's not this. Look, there's not 5 edge rushers in this draft where you have to just get to. Let them fall to you. Hey, you may not like the name on the back of the jersey, but you're going to like the production. How about this? The Purdue defensive end may give you the same production as Aiden Hutchinson, but you took the other kid at 15 versus 2. That means more on the salary and also, 2, more value at 15. Are you guys understanding this? I'll tell you, this Jeremiah Johnson kid, or Jermaine Johnson from Florida State, I'm partial to the kids from the state of Florida. I think he's a heck of a football player. Steve Kahn loves him too. And after losing Hassan Reddick and Chandler Jones, they've got to address edge rushers in Arizona. So who's ever going to be down there at 23? I'm saying it's going to be the kid Johnson from Florida State. But it could be any of the guys down there, outside of Thibodeau and Hutchinson. All of them are in the same boat, man. When I'm watching guys on film, they're the same guys. Cowboys are going to go and get, if they stay at 24, the Iowa center, Linderbaum, Zach Martin, and Trayon Smith, man. I mean, they're just getting long in the tooth now. Cowboys have to start retooling that offensive line, especially when you pay a guy $45 million. Hey, Razor, according to Kurt Warner, he struggles throwing the deep pass. You got a guy on your team right now in Philly that struggles throwing the deep pass. The black edge. Hey, I'm all right with that saying. I'm all right with that saying, man. Buffalo, Zion Johnson. You got a special player in Josh Allen. You keep drafting offensive linemen and wide receivers as much as you possibly can if you're Sean McDermott. Tyler Smith, offensive tackle. You know, there's a boatload of tackles in this draft that I think you could get really some good ones in 4 and 5, rounds 4 and 5. I really do. I really do. Hey, by the way, guys, can I ask you? I'm at 26 right now. Have you guys ever heard of Beasley Reese? You guys know who Beasley Reese is? He was like a broadcaster in Philadelphia for a while. You guys know who Beasley is? Didn't he work at like CBS in Philly for a while? He's one of my dearest friends. I texted him last night. He's in Las Vegas for the draft. He's now the president of the NFL Alumni Association. You guys know who Beasley is? I'm going to try to get him on Friday along with Keith Byers. You see Keith Byers on my Twitter? You guys made a big stink about Eric Allen yesterday not being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And he goes, he certainly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Keith on my Twitter page, man. He's like, you get that guy in the Hall of Fame, Big Sills. Yeah, Beasley, CBS? Okay, good. So you know who he is, right? Okay, good. Okay, good. I'm going to get him on then. You guys like him? Okay, good. I'm glad. Beasley is a former Buccaneer like I am. Love me and Beasley are dear friends. I think the Bucs gamble and take David Ojabo in the first round. Don't ask me why. They love him. Talking to Bruce Arians, they love him. Okay? And they were heartbroken on his pro day that he ended up getting injured. Okay? They were crushed. 28, Green Bay. Cal's going to like this. Cal, if I crush his name, forgive me. Arnold Abiti, edge rusher, Penn State, with the 28th pick. I think they grab him. Slightly botched, he says. Okay, good. Number 29, Kansas City, Christian Watson, wide receiver, North Dakota State. I broke my code. I said I wouldn't do it. You know, I was going to put the kid from Rutgers there. But you know what I can't do? I can't be a jackass. I think the kid's going to go. The kid does have really good ability. It seems. I hate North Dakota State. They don't play anybody. Kansas City, Lewis Kine, safety, Georgia. That's okay. All the safeties in this draft, in my opinion, in the first 3 rounds, they all resemble each other. Trey McBride, tight end, Colorado State, will go to the Bengals, one of the positions that they need to fill. And at 32, I do think that there's a trade there. The Lions trade the 32nd overall to the Falcons for a second-round pick this year, 43rd overall. And the Falcons take, I believe, Matt Corral down there. I think the Falcons go and get him on a rookie contract. You're going to be able to put a rookie on your salary cap. You're not going to be able to go out in free agency and get yourself a big free agent quarterback because you've got $38 million of dead cap money already, and you put Corral, a 32nd pick. It's not going to kill you if you jettison him in 2 days. Look at what the Browns have done. The Browns are going to jettison the number 1 overall pick 4 years removed from him being that player. Okay? So there's your first round. And so let me just reiterate here. I want to make sure we understand something in this draft tonight. And I'm going to keep hammering this point to you guys. From the Eagles pick, actually. Now, if a quarterback goes in the top 10, the Eagles in that 15th pick Could you see them move up potentially and get somebody, say a Sauce Gardner, say he falls to 13. Could they go get him? Yes. Because he is one of the 14th players that I've projected as a first round true player, talent-wise. But from the 15th pick to around the 50th pick. And you know what? I was thinking more around 60. These guys are all the same. A guy in the second round, you're going to grab a guy in the second round. And when you grab that guy in the second round, he's going to give you the same production that somebody who's going to be in the 18th pick. But the difference is, that's why, again, for me, hey, could you see Howie moving out of both 15 and 18 and getting 2s and 3s as this entire draft? Say all the top quality kids are taken in the first 15 picks. Could you see Howie double trading out of 15 and 18, moving down into the first round, still getting the guy you want, and collecting 2 2s and 2 3s? Bob, I'm telling you, don't fall in. We're falling in love. Well, I don't know how you can. Here, watch this. I'm gonna identify here for you the 14th players that are first rounders. Let me circle these. Evan Neal, Aiden Hutchinson, Thibodeau, NC State offensive lineman, Gardner, Stingley, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hamilton, London, Jordan Davis, Jamison Williams. Again, Jamison would go in the top 5 picks if he was healthy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Here, Evan Neal, Aiden Hutchinson, Stingley, Thibodeau, NC State offensive lineman, Drake London, Sauce Gardner, Kyle Hamilton, Trent McDuffie, Devin Lloyd, Walker, Trayvon Walker, Jordan Davis, and Wyatt. The rest of these guys are dudes. The 2 wide receivers from Ohio State are probably in that conversation too. I got Wyatt in there. Okay? See here. Jermaine Johnson, I really like him a lot. Andrew says, I would love Howie to drop back at 15 and 18 and then murder rounds 2 and 3 and 4. That would, Andrew, that's the play. You see what Andrew's saying there? That's the play. If a guy's not there at 15 and 18 that you're not in love with, that's the play. It would take enormous balls to do that. Move out of the first round completely, acquire all those picks. It would look like the movie Draft Day. It would look like the movie Draft Day. Randy says apparently Howie's talking about trading both 15. I'm good with that. I'm good with now. If Davis is sitting there at 15, Gardner's at 15, I got to think about that. Duck, Howie will get killed, but he shouldn't. Because this draft, Stephen Jones even said it too also. I talked to Stephen last night. He thinks there's 13 guys in this draft that are legitimate first rounders. Nobody I've talked to is saying this. Man, it's just littered with spectacular game-changing guys. Here, watch this. If I were to give this draft a grade, it would be a B. That's not bad. It's not exceptional. It's not great, but that's not bad. You got a chance of putting good football players on your team. Now, will they be game-changing Micah Parsons? Nobody thought Micah Parsons was going to be that guy. They could be. Put him in a decent system, right? You don't know. That's right, Duck. But there are 50 to 60 starters in this draft. Absolutely. That's what you're trying to do here. You're trying to get starters here. You're trying to get yourself another wideout on the other side of Devontae. Okay? And I got next year's draft. I'm on a 3-year contract if I'm GM of the Eagles. I would not be shocked, Andrew, if the Giants trade out of the first round or at least out of the top 10 with both those picks and move down in the draft to acquire more to the big – what? Tell me – watch this, guys. I'm going to make a prediction here. The big play in this draft tonight is going to be acquiring 2s and 3s. It's going to be acquiring how many 2s and 3s you can get. Because everybody's duplicating one another here. Okay? That's right. That's right, Jeff. 2, 3, and 4. Good football players. And again, this comes down to the sequencing. But Jesse says, I hope they get Pickens. Jesse, there's 3 Pickens in this draft. You may get Pickens. He just may not have his name on the back of the jersey. See, this is what great talent of that. Jimmy Johnson, who was on a couple days ago, never looked at the name at the back of the jersey. He looked at profiling. What separates this kid from that guy? Is it much? And what's his grade? When I look at the Olave kid, do I see Chase in Cincinnati? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay? Right? When I see Aiden Hutchinson, do I see Chase Young? Absolutely. Do I see Joey Bosa? Absolutely not. I see the same guys. Easy money. Kurt Warner says he struggles throwing the deep pass. The sequence again. Here's my philosophy going into tonight's draft if I'm Howie Roseman, general manager of your Eagles. Okay? Follow me here. Best player available at 15. If all the great first rounders that you think are off the board, get the best guy at corner, edge, free safety, wide receiver, and corner. It's going to be up to the Eagles to figure out what the priority is in this list. Is it important to get another wideout with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback? I'm not sure that that's the number one priority. Why would they go out and get a wide receiver like Jameson Williams for a quarterback? Think about the philosophy you're asking here with this. So why would they go out and get a wide receiver and Jameson Williams, who you're putting a quarterback on a 1-year audition, and that wide receiver is not going to play until October? Why would you do that? Unless you're building the team for another guy. Right? Unless you're building the team for another dude. Man, there is so much to get to. I've got a zillion things here, man. Okay, I want to talk about also where you think the Eagles are in the NFC East as we go into draft night. Okay? What's the best combo if you are at 15 and 18 too? That's going to be so important. Okay, guys? It really is. All right. Hey, guys, listen. Morgan & Morgan, my friends. The fee is free. Been telling you this. We're so proud to have them, the sponsor of the National Football Show with Big Sills here. And listen, finding an attorney is one of the most important things that you could possibly go through. When finding that attorney to represent you and get you fair compensation, this is what Morgan & Morgan's all about. If you're hurt or injured on the job, getting that attorney to make sure you and your family gets the best compensation, only one place. Size matters here, and that's what Morgan & Morgan is. They're the biggest law firm in the country, and they go to battle for you. For the people, it's not a slogan. It's who they are. It's what they do. For the past 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has collected $13 billion in client settlements when you choose Morgan & Morgan. Like I said, they're the biggest and size matters. Over 800 attorneys in offices in Philadelphia, New York, Florida, across the country. The army of attorneys that Morgan & Morgan has for you to make sure your family is protected and getting the fair compensation. This is what Morgan & Morgan is clearly all about. Look, the call is free. The consultation is free. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, you make sure you tell them Big Sales sent you.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back to the National Football Show. Your boy Big Sills. Appreciate you coming aboard. I'll start singing the next time we don't get music. All good. Don't worry about it, big boy. You know I'm coming for you. Yeah, you know what? We have hey, listen, all I'm going to say this to you. We have a Penn State guy in Cal, not playing the music. So what can you expect? Your school's going to get killed every time you forget the music, man. It's all good, man. Hit the like button. Appreciate everybody coming aboard, man. Thank you so much. I forgot to take a break this last hour. Can you imagine that? That's how much content is there for everyone for tonight. By the way, don't forget, right here on JAKIB Media, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, our draft party is going to be second to none. There's going to be a live band. There's going to be wall-to-wall coverage. Cal, put that promo up for me if you can, please. The guys are going to be there covering it, man. This is just going to be sensational. By the way, we had a family emergency. That's why we're not in Atlantic City, just so everyone knows. But look, Mike Quick, Gunn, Seth Joyner, Rob, everybody's going to be there. Devin's going to be there. Everyone. So don't forget, tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, we're going to have you covered in. I even went on with the guys earlier today, Sports Take. They were spectacular. And, hey, man, I can't wait for the show tonight. So I'll be over on my Twitter, by the way, during the NFL draft. So if you want to go over to @Dan Sileo Show, I'll be talking about the draft as we're going through it tonight too. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. I don't know who said it, but somebody goes, Sills, was that you, Kyle? Somebody goes, Sills, if they draft that guy, Trent McDuffie, I'm coming for you. Hey, man, I think it could be a coin flip there at 15 between Jordan Davis and Trent McDuffie. I do, man. I think it's going to be a coin flip. By the way, we have no guests today. This is you and me. We're not coming here to listen to anybody else talk about the draft. It's you and me here today as we get ready for the draft party tonight with JAKIB Media at 8 o'clock. Okay? It's you and me here. I've traditionally done this for over 27 years with the draft. Okay? I don't usually put anybody on the day of the draft. It's just us. By the way, this is just the 5th time in the last 16 NFL drafts that a quarterback's not going to go number 1 overall. Okay? And see, that doesn't mean the draft is bad. But as I said to you in the last hour, guys, don't be disappointed. Hey, guys, people will always ask me, Sills, how do you think we did? Like on a Monday, this coming Monday, people are going to go, Sills, how did we do? Eagles, Patriots, Dolphins, Bucks, what have you, whatever team you're talking. I'm going to come back to you, and I'm going to bury the lead for Monday for you guys. You ready? This is how I'm going to answer Monday's show for you right now. Sills, how'd the Eagles do? Did they address edge rusher? Yeah, they got him in the 4th. Okay, I'm good with that. Did they get a cornerback? Yeah, they addressed it in the 2nd round. Really good. Did they get a free safety? Yeah. They addressed that in the 4th round. Good. Did they get a wide receiver? They addressed that in the 1st round. I wouldn't go there. But if one of the guys who are ranked as a 1st rounder are there, I'm okay with that. Did they get a linebacker? Yes, they got him in the 3rd. Great. You can't lose. You can't lose in this draft trading down. Trading up, you're panicking. They need a punter, too. Would you use a 4th-round pick on that punter from San Diego State? That punter could be the biggest game changer that the Eagles draft. I hate to say this too, and I hate to talk punters and field goal kickers and positions. I hate it. Would you be okay with the Eagles surrendering let's see. I think the 101st pick is a little too high for him, but I think someone's going to take him in the third round. Okay? Could you take him in the fourth round at 124? Man, I'll tell you what, if that punter's there at 124 in the fourth round, I'm grabbing him. Okay? Your fifth round picks are 150. You have three in the fifth round. At 154, 162, and 166. That's a Cardinals pick. The 154th pick is from the Commanders. And in the seventh round, that 237th pick is from the Saints. So to me, here, get this. I think tell me if I'm wrong here. Barrett said this yesterday. Hey, by the way, guys, please hit the like button. You guys were great. Thank you. Guys, can somebody check this out for me? I don't know. Cal, maybe you too. Do the Bears have two number twos? Do the Bears have two number two picks? Barrett said this. Because if the Bears have two number twos, would you trade that 18th pick for those two twos? Then you would have 3 picks in the second, 2 picks in the third, and you'd still have a first rounder. The Bears have two twos. They have 2 twos. 39th and 48th. Wow. The 39th and 48th pick? Okay. Would you give the 18th pick up for the 39th and 48th pick? So get this. If you did that, you'd have the 15th pick, the 51st pick, the 39th, the 48th, the 83rd, and the 101st pick going into the third round. Whew. Man, like I said, there's not a boatload of first rounders in this draft. Legitimate first rounders. When you start getting down to Boy Maffey at 30, Zion Johnson, Trayvon Penning, these are all second and third round talented, graded guys. Okay? Why wouldn't I load up? And then here's the beautiful thing. You're getting younger and you're managing your cap. And they're doing something in Philadelphia they haven't done since the Donovan McNabb era. You're building a foundation. Let's do something here. Tony Dungy showed me this a long time ago. Okay. Tell me this right here. They also have 2 fifths, the Bears? Huh. Who are your 5 core guys that you feel comfortable moving the next 5 years with and building around on the Philadelphia Eagles? Can't have Kelsey. He's going to be gone after this year. Mulata. Devontae Smith, I'm not putting Hurts in there. Dude, they're not even sure. He's not a core guy. Mulata, Devontae Smith, who else? Dickerson? Mulata, Smith, Dickerson. I need 2 more guys that will be here the next 5 years. Goddard. One more. Mulata, Devontae Smith, Dickerson, Dallas Goedert. Anybody else? Williams? Sanders? Sanders is a dude, man. He's a core guy. Miles Sanders is a core guy. You think Josh Sweat? I don't think Quez Watkins is a core guy. Not building my team around that guy. He's a dude. Gainwell? It must be a Howie burner account. Mulata, M. Williams, Reddick, Goddard. That's right, Reddick. Hey, by the way, can someone do me a favor? How old is Reddick? Is he 28? Josh Sweat? I'll expand it. Dude, Hardgrave? You think he's here in 5 years? Mulata, Devontae Smith, Dickerson, Dallas Goedert, Reddick, Josh Sweat. He's 27. Reddick's in the building. Let me see. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, that's about right. It's okay. Milton Williams? I don't think Hardgrave either, Jeremiah. I don't. So these guys right here are going to be your dudes to build your football team around. Let me ask you something. Can you build a football team without knowing if you have a franchise quarterback? Can you build a team without having answered that position yet? Can you? These guys here are really good football players. You guys have done a nice job identifying your core. Tony Dungy told me when he first got to Tampa, they had no core guys. You have to identify who you have and then build around these guys. Okay? Player development. Who are your dudes? Okay? 49ers did. You think 36-16? Billy? He's 36-16. As a starting quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo. You think that sucks? I'm not saying that Garoppolo's, well, you're okay, so you're answering my question. I'm trying to change the question and move the goalpost on you a little bit. That's fair. You're right. That's fair. Tampa thought they had it, though, Duck. Tampa thought they had it with Jameis Winston. Average Joes can win a Super Bowl. Eagles are a prime example of that. You got a guy who can't start anywhere else but in Philadelphia, Nick Foles. You think the Colts are a championship football team? With Matt Ryan now. I think the Colts could get to the AFC Championship game with Matt Ryan now. You're right. I think you guys are changing my opinion on this. You're right. Bucks did it. Colts did it. 49ers. Okay. I don't know, Nasty. They've got good examples. The Niners are legit. By the way, you know, the more I think about the Deebo Samuel and Jets potential trade, you know, if you're the 49ers, you just go out and get Drake London, put him on your football team, send Deebo Samuel to the Jets. You don't see him. He's in a different conference. You get their picks. You know, you get a first round and a second rounder potentially for him. 49ers add to that, put themselves right back in the conversation. Remember, they split with the Rams last year. Actually, they beat the Rams up a few times last year, did the 49ers. That Rams team, I mean, when you watch San Francisco play them, that beat teams up, San Francisco. That football team's built in the old line. And know this, they're not jettisoning Jimmy Garoppolo off that team. You still got Trey Lance on that rookie contract. You're in no hurry to get rid of him. You're in no hurry to get rid of Garoppolo in his $25 million. He's a bargain deal. So you got a $1.5 or $2.5 million hit with Trey Lance on your books, and you got a $25 million. Shit, man. You're paying basically $27 million for two guys that you could get value for if you put them on the market. 49ers are in a good position. Limited cap, dead money on that books for the 49ers too. They're not in the worst shape that people think they are, having Garoppolo on that. I went back and looked at it. They're not in all that bad shape. Yeah, but Dan, Lance is the starter. I know John Lynch. Hey, John Lynch, it's easy to say this in the offseason. Hey, he's our guy. Okay, we'll see. Eastside Monster says Dallas arguably needs a franchise quarterback. I don't think so. I think they're going to run it with Dak. I think they're good with Dak. They need to get better components around him. They need a better running back. Tony Pollard's a good player. Zeke needs to go. Jerry refuses, man, to cut. He's almost like Howie. Dude, when a guy sucks, cut him. Hey, Sills, think we could move Hurts tonight? No. For what? Gardner Minshew? Put him in there? What's the point? And Bob, why would I? He's on a $1.2 million contract. I'm trying to build my team right now. Why would I want to try to acquire something else? I mean, to me, I think Gardner Minshew could be moved tonight. Gardner Minshew makes $2.5 million on the Philadelphia Eagles salary cap. Let me get that off my books. I'll trade him. Why would I want my backup quarterback making more money than my starter? It's even a bad look in the locker room. Okay? Philip, I'm not hating on anything. I'm talking about building a team tonight. It's got nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is in an audition. He hasn't been promised anything. There's been zero comments that came out of the Philadelphia NovaCare Center that say this. He's our quarterback for the future. All we're hearing is he's our quarterback in 2022. And they're making that very clear. I don't think that there's been any misdirection on that message. He's getting this year. Now, as I've been telling you guys, in my opinion, watch this. I think Jalen's going to improve. I do. But will it be enough to convince Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman that that's enough? Will that be enough of an improvement? Howie's going to look at it like this. Jalen Hurts got better every year. And when I drafted him in the second round, do you know what Howie can tell you guys right now? Howie can look at you and go, remember when all you guys took a crap on me and told me that Jalen wasn't a second-round pick? He turned out to be. He was right. He's a second-round pick. He's a second-round pick. I'll tell you this point, and I'll give you something else even more. If Jalen Hurts were to go into this draft, Jalen Hurts would be a first-round pick, probably at the bottom. Probably at the bottom of the first round, right around in there. Could between 21 and 40, somewhere in there, sure. Philip says, I know you keep it real. So I was speaking into the comment section with, okay, I got you, brother. Thank you, man. He wasn't the optimal second-round pick for our situation. That's a great take. The Black Edge, that's a great take. Great take. Great take. You know what, though? The Black Edge, I'm going to tell you this. That's why when they asked me last year my thoughts on Devontae Smith being drafted by the Eagles, I went, it's a shitty pick. Why do you pick a wide receiver that your quarterback, you're not sure who he even is yet, or if he can get him the ball? And he marginally got him the ball. I didn't think the pick fit. How about this? If Devontae Smith was put on the Cincinnati Bengals, Devontae would have had 1,300 yards and probably 100 catches. He would have clearly had more targets because the quarterback would have been able to find him. Would have been able to find him. And that's not shade on Devontae. It's where you land. You know, here. Guys, let me give you a little bit of that. You know, I learned that lesson the hard way. Watch this, guys. Let me give you experience from failure. May I? Can I give you experience from failure? Okay. I didn't fail in the NFL because of ability. I failed in the NFL because of circumstances around me and my own undoing. Lack of professionalism at times, going to the wrong system, shitty coach, all of that was a cesspool for me. I couldn't rise my head above it because the organization, the Buccaneers back in the Ray Perkins days, they couldn't rise above it. Let me show you what happens. So I play my ball next to Jerome Brown, as I tell you guys all the time at Miami. I'm a one-technique guy, getting up the field, getting in the backfield, making plays. I was a 100-tackle guy. Okay? I led the team in tackles for losses, solo hits, defensive line. I did all that. Nobody outproduced me at UM with Jerome Brown next to me, Cortez Kennedy behind me, Russell. Nobody outperformed me on defense when it came to D linemen. However, I get drafted to the Buccaneers. They go like this. We're going to play you at nose guard. Completely different technique. I had never played nose guard in my life. They're asking me to do things I've never done before. I had no idea what even the terminology was. Zero technique? What am I doing? I'm holding guys up. I'm not being asked to use my 4.8 speed at 288 pounds. You want me just to stand at the line of scrimmage so your shitty linebackers get blocked? It was a whole cascade of that. I went to a horrible 34. I needed to be like John Randall. If I put in that John Randall defense, I excel. Okay, I would have excelled. Butch said it too. It's where guys get drafted. You think of Jamar Chase. If Jamar Chase, here, let's switch Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith. Let's put Devontae on the Bengals and Jamar Chase in Philly. Do you think they exchange numbers? Chase is a 950-yard catch guy, and Devontae is a 1,500-yard guy in Cincinnati. Do you think that they would have completely changed trajectories? Because that guy's got a signal on the worst O-line in football, or second worst O-line in football. The Bengals turned that rookie kid from LSU into a 1,500-yard guy. Okay? And Chase, in my opinion, in Philly, 950 yards. I think he's a 950-yard guy. Ernest says Smitty's not going to do what Chase did. You don't really think that Devontae Smith could be a 1,400 yard guy? Dude, that guy's got Joe Burrow throwing him the ball. Joe Burrow is going to do great things in this league. Can you imagine Devontae Smith on that Chargers team? On the other side of Mike Williams? That's why when last year's draft, there were about 27 first rounders out of the 32. This year, there's 14. And this is why this year, guys, this is going to be more about the sequencing for Howie. My philosophy in this draft would clearly be, best player available. Best player available. Now, say Carolina drafts a quarterback. You're going to get a first rounder at 15. You're going to get a first rounder. I told you the guys who have been graded as first legitimate. I asked Steven, who do you think the 15 guys are? He told me. And they've been right down. Tom Telesco, Kevin Colbert. I think these guys all talk to one another. They know who the 15 first rounders are. The rest of them, from 15 to 50, I think actually from 15 to 60, they're all the same guys. The sequencing tonight. How about this? If the top player available at 15 is an edge guy, grab him. Once you get down to the 18th pick, grab the best player available. Same with 51, best player available. Now, this is where you have to take, this is where you have to make sure that your people in your building have evaluated the positions correctly. Okay. Hey, listen, I want to look at the NFC East. And by the way, somebody said something to me yesterday that I completely disagree with. Why should I care what the Cowboys do tonight? You should always care what the Cowboys are doing. You're not drafting just to make your team better. You're drafting to compete with the teams in your division. It's the most asinine thing you can hear anybody say. I don't care what they do in Dallas or New York. You better care. You were not competitive with the Cowboys last year. You got beat by that shitty Giants team in the Meadowlands. Before you start talking trash, you got to beat the teams in your own division. I don't care what you better care. You don't think teams in the AFC East are thinking about beating the Bills right now? Dolphins got completely better. We're going to take a look where the Eagles are in that. Okay. Hey, don't forget tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, our draft party starting at 8 p.m. there from Oceans Casino. Everybody's going to be there. Hey, Cal, put that baby up there for me too, man, because it's going to be a great time for everybody tonight. And believe me, we're going to have you covered wall to wall. All right. That's good, Cal. Let me say this to you too. Morgan & Morgan, we're so proud that they're the proud sponsor of the National Football Show with Big Sills here. The fee is free. This means this. They do not get paid unless you get your fair compensation. If you're hurt on the job or you're injured on the job, Morgan & Morgan is going to be there for you to go to battle because they're the biggest law firm in the country. Size matters here. You can't pick a better firm or a bigger firm in the United States of America than Morgan & Morgan. They will not be bullied. They will make sure your family gets fair compensation. And for the last 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been doing this battle every single time for their client. No matter what the case is, small or big, Morgan & Morgan is looking to make sure your family gets the fair compensation. And that's why over the last 30 years, they've had $13 billion in compensation for their clients, with over 800 attorneys and offices in Philadelphia and across the country, New York, Florida, Morgan & Morgan is going to do battle for you because this is who they are. Look, the call's free. The consultation's free. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Morgan & Morgan is there for you. And do me a favor. When you call them, tell them Big Sil sent you.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Penn State guy got it right. Yeah. Welcome back, National Football Show, your boy Big Sills. Please hit the like button. All good, Cat. Yeah, Penn State education. All good, man. Appreciate everybody coming in. Hey, let me tell you this. I'm going to get to where I think the Eagles are in talent-wise. We're going to talk about rosters, not so much about winning ball games, coaches, quarterback. I want to get your assessment of where you think the Eagle roster is compared to the rest of the rosters in the NFC East. Okay? And all the things that I'm telling you guys right now is all the things that over the last 11 months, the Eagles and other organizations, where are we in the division? Where are we in the conference? Where are we with core guys? How's our drafting been? How's our handling of the salary cap been? The quarterback position, all of that plays a factor. Real quick, though. So tonight, these guys are going to be getting these phone calls. There is nothing like getting a phone call. As a junior, I was the 56th player taken. And there is nothing like getting a phone call from an NFL team going like this. Rich McKay called me, by the way. And then Ray Perkins did. Rich was the general manager of the Buccaneers at the time, along with this guy named Phil Kruger. They go, Dan, congratulations. The Buccaneers have selected you, and you're going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Welcome to the NFL. I was like this. One above all did you cry, Big Sills? I think I did. Italian kid like me, raised by his grandparents and aunt. Yeah. I'm full of the thing. Do you know what my guidance counselor said? My guidance counselor, David Downs, said I'd be in jail or whatever. I'd be dead. I think he told people that. This guy's destined for jail. David Downs said that. And there I was, getting a phone call that you had made it to the National Football League. I was like this. I called my grandpa up. I go, Dad, the Bucs just took me. He goes, kid, you're kidding. I go, no, man, they drafted me. They used a third-round pick on me, 56 player taken, which today would be a second-rounder. And I was like, can you believe it? They're flying me up on a private jet. Private jet? I go, yeah. I'm flying up on a private jet. Sure enough, man, I fly into St. Pete. They pick me up in a limo, man. They take me over to the old crappy-ass $1 place. It's not the new place. The new place is awesome. I walk in and I'm like, everyone starts cheering and I'm like, holy cow. I saw my name above an NFL locker. I'll never forget this. And I told Barrett this. They gave me my helmet and I turned and looked when no one was looking and I went, what the F do I do now? I had waited my whole life for that moment. You've been drafted by there's only been 29,000 men play in that game. 16,000 of them are alive. And I'm one of them. I'm one of the guys that's on the Hurricanes Wall of Fame, NFL Wall of Fame. Yeah, not even the Rock's on that. And I'm like, man, Gramp, I made it. He's like, I can't believe it. He used to watch guys like Joe Klecko. And he used to see all those guys like, you can't do that. What the hell? You ain't fast like that. Who the hell? And I'm going like this. Maybe I can't. I don't know. But then when I started playing against people that started getting drafted and I was killing these guys, I knew. I was like, all right. Yeah, man, outside of, how about this? My daughter being born is the greatest moment of my life. Okay? There's nothing like it. My daughter was born like this. Hey, guys, check this out. I'm eating a sandwich out. Doc comes, gets me, and he goes like this. Okay, it's game time, Sileo. Game time? What does that mean? Let's go. I walk in there. I'm eating a club sandwich. What do you mean? What's going on? Let's go. Here's my wife. Okay, Kim's sitting in there. Let's go! I'm going like this. Like, all of a sudden, I start doing this. Right? And the doctor goes, watch the dad. Watch the dad. He may go down. He may go down. Watch the dad. I'm going like this. I had to steady myself. All of a sudden, they started taking this gigantic wire out of my wife's back. You know, they put something in. I'm like, what is that? Oh, yeah, like, you know, deadens her back so she can push. All of a sudden, they started unraveling this string. I'm going, what's that? And I'm doing this. Look, you thought I was on a boat. I'm going, hey, oh, whoa, oh, hey, oh, whoa. Epidural, that's what it was. Dude, I'm going like this. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, oh. Watch the dad. Watch the dad. I get out of that thing. I was like that. My wife goes, well, how you doing? I go, Jesus, I'm exhausted. My wife goes, you're exhausted. I said, God, I never been more exhausted in my life. I feel like I played a game. She's like, I just gave birth to your daughter. I said, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you were in the room too. She goes, yeah, just in the room. It's all right. Hey, Mo, I almost hit the deck, dude. I thought I was going down. Ernest, I thought I was going down. Oh, Go Bird says, my daughter was being born. I'm watching her come out, and she just keeps, hey, Go Birds. I couldn't believe how the doctor reached down into the well. And like, I thought he was reaching down into hell. I was like, where are you going with that? I couldn't believe it. I'm going like this. That's it. My beautiful daughter came out, man. Black hair, blue eye. Oh, Bron. Oy. That made me cry. But being drafted and my daughter being born. Did you cut the umbilical cord? No, I chewed it. Watch the dad. Watch the dad. It's freaky. Go Birds. It's freaky. You're not sure what you're seeing. What is that? Where are you going? What is that? Oh. Duckos, you'd be a great motivational speaker. You think? I believe you chewed it. Yeah. I got a little gabagool. Mo, thank you, man. I am blessed. My daughter's now a superstar rugby player at Grand Canyon University. She's going to be in New Orleans playing in the championships, too. I mean, my kid's the captain of the team. Get this. My daughter's got a 3.9 grade point average. I find it sometimes hard to believe that I'm her dad, and I always question my wife whether or not the mailman. I always ask, is it the mailman's kid? Look at her legs. And by the way, look at her attitude. Sometimes I hate myself. Every time my daughter and I, hey, Mo, every time my daughter and I get into an argument, okay, I do this. I hate myself. She's like, why? I go, because you're just like me. Ugh. Oh, okay, I've been married 33 years, Bob. I know. Hey, people would go, Sileo's been married 33 years. Oh, yeah, I'm loyal, man. All right. Back to the draft. What do you give me a grade? You know what's funny? I did this to Jeff Ireland one time when he was a general manager. Hey, when he was the general manager of the Dolphins, I did it on the air. Guy didn't know how to handle the media. And I'm a pro. So I went like this. Jeff, give me a grade of what you think your roster is. And know this, the Dolphins hadn't had at that time a winning record in 5 years. And so Jeff Ireland goes, oh, I think our roster's a B. I went, you're 25 and 44, and you think you have a B roster? He goes, yeah. And I go, then Joe Philbin sucks as the coach. Is that what you're saying? No, I'm not saying. Well, which is it? It's either a B roster or the coach sucks. I got him. He couldn't get out of it. And believe me, the Dolphins to this day were pissed at me because I walked him into a corner. Got to be smarter than that. I leave that. You know how Tom Telesco answers that question to me? He goes like this. I leave that up to you on grades. Brilliant answer. Smart answer. Knowing the room, knowing how to answer questions too. Kyle says, do I think that the Eagles will draft Kelsey's replacement in the second? No, third or fourth. You're going to get a guy in the third or fourth that's going to be a second-round guy. Okay? They could. Hey, What if they move Dickerson over to center and put Dillard in? Could that work? Jeff Stoutland moving him over? You put Dickerson at center, and then you move Dillard into a starting spot. Could you do that? You think, to me, Dillard can only play left tackle. Okay. Dillard at OG. Okay. All right. You got to have, it's a great comment by you guys. You got to have better feet at guard because there's more traffic inside. I'm not saying you can't have shitty feet outside. You got to take on those great pass rushers. Isaac they're high on him too, aren't they? Yeah. Simalu? Is that how you say his name? I do, Mo. Okay. Simalu at center. Okay. They may have the guy on the roster right now. Okay. Okay, let me ask you guys this. I saw some grades already. What do you think the grade is? Let's hold on for a second. Let's put the Eagles last. Semalu. Thank you, Matthew. What do you think the roster grade is for the Giants? I think the running back's overrated. He's never healthy. I don't care what they think of him. No disrespect, Cal. He's not healthy all the time. When are we going to finally see Saquon Barkley healthy? He's constantly banged up. Now, is that because of the shitty O-line in front of him? Probably. That guy is productive with an awful offensive line in front of him. Giants, F, D. D+. D for the Giants. Awful O-line, 252. You're dead on. Okay? HH4, I'm going to put that to the side, says the entire division C. I happen to agree. I think it's a D+, the Giants. That's before tonight's draft. Let's go Washington. What do you think? I agree. I'm putting D+. Washington. What do you think Washington is? See, I know you guys are going to hate what I'm going to say here. I don't think the quarterback is horrible. He's better than what they've had. Probably since Cousins. Okay? He's a C. Okay? The wide receiver's an A. Their O-line, you can't get rid of Trent Williams and think you're going to be a good offensive line. F, B, C+, B-. Das says the Washington roster is better than ours. Duck, I'm going to go solid B. That defense on the other side. Is there anybody on the Philadelphia Eagles defense that could start on that Washington defense outside of Darius Slay? No. Okay? No. So I'm going to go B for Washington. Dallas. Hassan Reddick could start over Chase Young or the other guy on the other side? I don't know. Dallas Cowboy roster. B-, B+, B. Colin says B. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. B. The blackheads. F the Cowboys. I get it. Seals, you're never going to get me to say anything positive ever about the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care who you played for, who you like. I like you. Don't ruin it. Yeah. Oh, right? I don't care. What? You're never going to get me to say anything positive about that damn team. Hey, I know, man. This is kind of, hey, this hurts a little bit, right? Hey, this hurts a little bit, right? When you're talking about the Cowboys. Dallas sucks. Oh, my God. I love you guys, man. Listen, I think the Cowboys have a B roster, too. Okay? I do. Especially in the NFC. Now, the Eagles. What fairly blinders off? Fairly C-. Dallas took a step back, I agree. C. C plus, Bob says. Mike and Bob. Mike and all you guys. Mo, I'm loving you. Eastside, you guys. A plus, because it's fly, Eagles, fly to the day I die, Jordan. Never get me saying, hey, by the way, who's got more pressure tonight, Howie Roseman or Doc Rivers? Hey, Dan, look at the history of Penn State. Running backs. Yeah, but they put some pretty good ones in the NFL. B. Guys, both. Would it be okay if I said that I'm going to say that the Eagles have a C plus roster? Eagles C plus. I could go B minus. Cowboys B, Washington B, Giants D plus. Any new Eagles draft rumors? What's the word? We're going to flip on the hour 3, and we're going to talk a little bit about that because there is. Rivers is toasting Philly. Dude, he loses tonight. Hey, and by the way, this just in. Doc, don't defend yourself. When somebody asks you a shitty question, answer it with a Greg Popovich answer if you have to. Jesus criminy, dude. Don't defend yourself to the media. You owe them nothing. When you hear a guy defending himself and he's getting he's getting peppered by the media because, dude, if they lose tonight, hey, by the way, am I right when I say this? One of the Sixer guys can't play because they're in Toronto tonight, right? One of the Sixer guys can't play because he's not vaccinated. Is that right? Right? Am I right when I say that? One of the guys can't play tonight, right, for Philly. Dude, don't lose a 3-0 lead, man. Be the first team. Be the first team in NBA history to drop an 0-3. Be like the Yankees and Red Sox. So that, okay, one of the dudes can't play, and you've got Joel Embiid's injury to his thumb. Yeah, and the Sixers' best defender. And James Harden looks like a fat donut. That's my name for James Harden. I call him Jelly. And he's got a hole in the middle, too. No heart, no jelly. Just a donut. Combi Canada, Jeff. Really? I know, man. They got great strip clubs there. From what I'm being told. Chez Paris. It's a place that I've been told. Stick a fork in Harden Sills. Mo, I'm with you, man. Hey, I said this the other day, guys. Have you ever seen a deal in your life suck for both teams? the Nets and the Sixers. I mean, right? Holy cow, man. Right? All right. We are getting closer to the draft tonight. I got to reset. You get nervous? Cal, before we take a timeout, put our promo up for me. Don't forget, guys, tonight, Oceans Casino. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have you wall-to-wall covered when it comes to the NFL draft. Thanks, Cal. I'm going to reset, okay? Because I do think this is the most important draft in the Super Bowl era for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to explain why. We're going to reset everything. We're going to get more of your opinions. I'm going to tell you why, how we can't screw this thing up, and why he should trade down, okay? Hit the like button. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Hour number 3. National Football Show. Big sales, please hit the like button. You guys have been absolutely spectacular. Thank you, Nuts. Over 100 likes. You guys have been great, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys have made this show special. By the way, I want to send out to everybody there in Atlantic City. We had a family emergency. It's the only reason we are not in Atlantic City. And I can't wait to watch it tonight. I'll be watching it too tonight. Cal, put it up again for us, our promo for tonight. Our show starting at 8 o'clock. We are going to have you wall-to-wall covered when it comes to the National Football League draft. You will not get better Eagle coverage than any place right here. on JAKIB Media, and we're so proud to be part of it. And thank you so much again for jumping on with us here. I want to reset everything that we're saying here. Jonathan, thank you. You guys are great. Brian says, hey, Dan, you and Xander are the best show on YouTube and JAKIB Media. Keep it up. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. By the way, Cal is our Mariano Rivera right now, so he's in, and they're getting ready for the big show tonight too. So, hey, we're a pretty good team here, man, all of us here. You know, we're a boutique, but you know what? The Philadelphia Eagles now watch my show. We know this now, right? Cal, keep up the great work, brother. Absolutely, man. He's a Penn State guy, you know. Very few times do I throw love out to Penn State guys. Son of a beast beat me, man. Never forgive you, Cal. Never. Beat me for the national championship. Never. Best school in the country. Guys get a raw deal, man. It's a great school. Thank you, Will. Thank you very much, man. Penn State Nation. Shut up, Pickin'. All right, man. Let's reset here. Okay? Would you guys be completely devastated if Howie traded out of the first round with both picks? How would you feel if he traded out? Thank you, gaming. Thank you. How would you feel about him trading out? I said this in the first hour, and I'm going to reiterate it. And guys, okay, I turned the channel. Not devastated. He would have to stay in Vegas. Maybe a little disappointed because I'm impatient. You should be impatient too. The Black Edge, you should be impatient. You guys pay tickets to go see that stuff every Sunday. Okay? And when you're paying $400 a ticket, you should be impatient. I don't have a problem with fans being impatient. That's what makes the Eagles, Patriots, Steeler fans, the Steeler fan, Packer fans, that's what makes people great. I don't have a problem with impatience, especially when you're putting your economic dollar up. Oh, BF, man. You have no idea how I appreciate you guys. Everybody on the planet is trying to ban Big Sills. Okay? They don't want me to put a show on anymore. Okay? Doing this a long time. It's all good. Okay? Here. Trading out if the guys on your chart are not there. They need 3 impact players. Depends on the compensation. John, it does. We'll ban them. There's zero chance they trade completely out of the first round. I agree, Gravy. But here, but follow me, guys. Okay? If you only have between 13 and 14 legitimate first-round draft choices, and you're sitting at 15, and 3 guys that you like aren't there, you're still going to draft a guy and overdraft a guy at 15? Why? I could trade down, get multiple 2s and 3s. Listen to this. If you traded the 15th pick, okay, you trade the 15th pick, and you trade down between 21 and 32, and you're able to get another second rounder or a third rounder, then you trade the 18th pick, same dynamic, 21 to 32, and you get another second or third. You mean to tell me you wouldn't be cool with this? Another second, another third, which would give you a total of 12 picks. Okay? You'd still have first-round picks. They would just be later in the draft. And how about if you did this to the Bears? Say you didn't trade the 15th pick, and you go to the Bears and you say this. Or you keep the 18th pick and you go to Chicago and you go like this to them. I'll tell you what. I'll give you the 15th pick for both of your twos. Would you do it? That means I would have the 39th and 48th and the 51st pick in the second round. And I would still have a first-round pick at 18. How is that bad when from 15 to 60, all these players are the same? They're twos and threes. They're not ones. Trusting they pick good players. Yale, that's right. Yeah, but Yale, look at what we're doing here. But guys, follow me here. So Howie has 12 picks. He lands on 4 starters. I'm good with that. The more quality picks he has, and I'm not talking about 5, 6, and 7. I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. Let's look how many picks he has now in the top 4 rounds. 1, 2, going into the draft, barring anything's going on as we're talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 picks of the 10 picks in the first 4 rounds. Look, rounds 5 through 7. You can find guys. Jordan Mailata was found there, right? Jordan Mailata was found in the 7th round. Ralph says someone's going to – Ralph, the reason why someone will fall through is because someone gambled on a quarterback and took him in the top 13 picks. What's going to screw the draft up, it's not the sequence of players. The quarterbacks are going to screw it up. Somebody's going to panic. So if I'm the Eagles and I'm Howie, wait for the panic. There's always people that are going to panic because they don't have a guy and they think maybe they found a guy. Right? Somebody's going to take Malik Willis at 9 or 10 or somewhere in there. All of a sudden, then you're going to start seeing players fall. Then you do this. Where's my sheet here? Here. Then I start doing this. BF says, want results from Howie. I don't care which round. Bang. BF. Right. Here, let me give you guys a great example of that. I talked to you yesterday about this. When Washington drafted RG3, what did they do in that same draft? Do you guys remember what they did in that same draft? Do you guys remember? What did they do in that same RG3 draft? RG3 is a game-changing guy. Can't believe how great he is. Holy shit, he's this and that. What did they do anyway? That's right, Bob. They drafted Cousins. Hey, we really love RG3. Get that guy Cousins from Michigan State. You know, just as a security blanket, just in case something shits a bed. Well, what's Cousins done in his 10 years? He's got 6 4,000-yard passing seasons. That's pretty impressive, considering that the Eagles only have 1 4,000-yard passing quarterback in the franchise's history. He's got 6 himself. CYA, right, Bob? He was like a 4th or 5th rounder, too. Right? Mo, 6 4,000-yard passing years? Yeah, that's a pretty good career. Manster, was a great move by the commies. They covered their backs. Okay? They knew, RG3, was it more about Mike Evans? Or no, who was the receiver? Oh, it was Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon, thanks. Thanks, 81703. Thank you. He was what now? He was a fourth rounder. Okay. It was Josh Gordon was his receiver, right, at Baylor. Right? RG3? Baylor kid, right? Never won a big game in his career. You guys are so smart. Matthew says Desmond Ryder in later rounds looks like a steal. Huh. Do I want one of these quarterbacks? My quarterback room's okay. Jalen and Minshew. It's not great. It's not horrible. I made the postseason. Adding Ryder. I thought he sucked against Memphis. I thought he struggled against Navy. Played a great game against Notre Dame. Yeah, man. There's not. Hey, I am not taking a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. These are all third round valued guys. I don't like overpaying for a meal, let alone a player who I know doesn't fit the evaluation. And especially when I hear a guy like Kurt Warner saying that Matt Corral at Ole Miss struggles throwing the deep pass. You can't throw the deep pass in the NFL. You can't play in the NFL. And by the way, the only reason that Jalen makes it is because he can move and he can put 900 yards on the ground. If Jalen Hurts had to rely on his arm to stay in the league, he wouldn't be in the league. That's a fundamental issue with me. He's not technically, and again, this is not a bash Jalen day. This is about drafting and getting the team better. So this is not about bashing the kid here. Big Sills only overpays for beanies. I don't overpay for beanies. I get them for free. You think Sills pays for anything? What are you, nuts? Last time you see me put my hand out to pick a check up will be the first time. TVD is better than the quarterbacks. Hey, Tyler Van Dyke, he'll be a first-round draft choice. And by the way, he'll be a better quarterback than that guy at Ohio State. Ryder over. I think they're all over. Jameson needs to be an Eagle today. You talk about giving Hurts a chance. Jordan. So you're going to put another rookie wideout in a building and in a group with no veteran leadership, with a quarterback who's not technically sound and can't find him. Sills is a diva. Yeah, I only sit in owners' boxes. I don't sit with the crowds. You know, when I have, I don't even know why I'm acting like that. Oh, God, any good University of Miami players going into this year's draft? Sills, I disagree. Jameis is a stud. You think he's a stud right now with an ACL injury? Why would I put a guy on my football team that I'm not going to see until October, and I've given my quarterback 1 year to earn his job? Is that giving Jalen Hurts a chance? Ask yourself that question. Gravy, ask yourself that question. If you really want to give Jalen Hurts a chance, he's in an audition. That kid's not going to be ready until October. A third of the season's over. What help can he possibly give Jalen Hurts in a year that Jalen Hurts has to prove he's a starter or not? drafted for our next quarterback. Okay. So you're under the assumption then that they're building this team for someone else. It could be. It is. The black edge, most of the kids are young. Okay, Mario, by the way, in the next 3 years, you see how kids are coming out of Oregon now? You'll start seeing the same kids come out of Miami because Mario's a great recruiter. Me and Steele's killing the buffet. Pascal is 27 who could play the slot and give 6. Matt Hatter, how could you say a guy who's never had anything near 600 yards in receiving yards is going to be a factor on a team where he's the 94th rated wide receiver according to Pro Football Focus? That's wishful thinking. Smith, I'm not even Gary Cobb, who went to Southern Cal, man. I just don't like the kid London. You know why? The kid London got a lot of shit yardage, man. I mean, and would they win 4 games last year? That kid, Alabama, Williams, sounds like a dumbass. Plus, dude, I guarantee you there ain't no dumbasses on that Alabama team. You think Nick Saban recruits dumb players? I do not think that. And Mo, Pascal, I think Jalen Reagor's better. I think Jalen Reagor's better. I don't know. Hey, Dan, I don't know if you're already answered the question, but who do you think is better, Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew? This is going to be a really crappy way to answer that question, Brian. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to answer it this way. Minshew's a better arm thrower, and Jalen's probably a better quarterback all around. But Minshew wins games from the pocket and plays from the pocket. And I'm more in love with that style. You know what I mean? And it sounds like I'm dogging on Jalen here, but I just don't like the running quarterback style. Look at look, Jalen Hurts is never going to be Lamar Jackson or he's never going to be Josh Allen. He's not those guys. Those dudes are 6'4", 6'5". They're big body guys and they get banged up. This guy's a little dude. Already had an ankle injury and already had surgery after the first. What happens when he puts another 17-game season together? Jalen Hurts' window and ceiling is not high. It's not because he's a talent. It's because of his style of play. Do you guys understand that? I'm not saying that Jalen's not going to continue to get better. He's not going to be a guy you'd love on your roster. But his style of play doesn't have a big ceiling, and there's not a lot of room for it. You know what I mean? I think Olave from Ohio State, I think he's one of the first rounders. Jordan Sills, think about what Howie did. He got extra picks for a quarterback next year. If he drafts Bryce Young, gets Jameson Williams, then he has Devontae. Get where I'm going? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Jordan, that's a fundamental thinking process that's correct. Okay? It is. Especially, and guys, when you watch tonight's draft show right here on JAKIB, okay, know this. There's only 15 first rounders in this draft. That's it. It's light in those first rounders. There's 32 picks. So from 15 down, you're going to be picking second round talent in the first round. Why would I stay at 15 if one of my guys, Thibodeau, Sauce Gardner, Jordan Davis, if those guys aren't there, why would I take a lesser guy at 15 when I can go move down and get – I'm going to make a prediction to you here. Howie's going to trade down with one of these picks to get more picks, okay? And if they happen to land on one of those first-round guys at 15, They'll stick there at 15. But I could see Howie not trading out of the first round with these picks, but I could see him getting down into the 20s, 21 to 32, down in there. Get the same guy. Then you start collecting guys in rounds 2 and 3 who, for whatever reason, went in rounds 2 and 3. You know, I keep giving you guys this one important stat here. 60%. Guys, follow me in this one too. And guys, you know I've been telling you the stat. 60% of the wide receivers that have made the Pro Bowl in the last decade were not first-round draft choices. Hey, how about this, guys? Davante Adams. Deebo Samuel, and Cooper Kupp are my wideouts. I could have got those guys in rounds 2 and 3. Because you know why? That's where they were drafted, in rounds 2 and 3. And you guys are looking at these guys in the draft now, and you're going, man, look at these. There's first round. We got to get a wide receiver in the first. You don't. The intel's telling you, trust your guy. Now, wait a minute. That's a good point. Our philosophy's right. Do you trust Howie to get the right guy? I can imagine what this is going to be. That means 40% of Pro Bowlers came in the first round. Nick, 60%. I have a 6 out of 10 chance of finding a Pro Bowler if I don't use my first round pick. That's how I see it. You can say it any way you want. I have a better chance because my average. I'm trying to do what speaking of Vegas, I'm trying to limit my failure here. Mo says 50-50. Somebody good will fall to 15. Patience. Jones says, hell no. Howie's a coin flip. Howie goes rogue. Remember, Sills, no 1,000-yard receivers and never had a 100-catch guy. Jesse, I know, man. And still you draft Jalen Reagor in the first round. Why didn't you wait and get him in the second round? He's 50-50. Art Gravy throwing MAGA in there. Got to sneak it in, huh? Like Elon Musk. I want to put Coke back into Coca-Cola. I think he's trying to get banned before he gets complete control of Twitter. Twitter is going to explode tonight. Oh, my God. Something's going to happen tonight. Hey, tell me the greatest moment in draft history wasn't Jeremy Tunsil and that marijuana mask. Oh, man. Yeah. Right after the poor kid got drafted, too. Oh, man. That kid had a gas mask on at Ole Miss. Hey, Doug. When I couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe. He did. He fell in the draft for that. He went first to the Texans, right, Cal? Then the Dolphins made a trade for him. I think that's how that worked out, right? The Texans grabbed him, and then the Dolphins made a trade. Dude, that gas mask bong, man. I'm watching this thing, and all of a sudden, it just pops up. Yeah, we have a little disturbing video here. He takes his gas mask off, man. And dude, this guy was hitting a heater. Holy man. And he even gave a yeah. Dude, man. I was like, man, that's gangster. It still makes the Pro Bowl. Dude, he did fall. Dude, no. Hey, wasn't he supposed to be like a 5th pick? He was supposed to be a really high pick. Oh, it was hilarious. Cost him millions. And wasn't it like his dad or somebody did shit like that? I was like, oh, man. Yeah, man. Seals 2022. Make Eagles great again. You guys just never stop, man. Brian says, I thought the craziest thing was when Eli Manning didn't want to play for the Chargers, so they traded him to New York. I know, man. I don't want to play for the Spanos family. Turned out to be right. Rivers never won shit. Eli wins 2 Super Bowls with the Meyer family and the Tisch family. He was right. Okay, and by the way, you ready for this? I think if Eli Manning had played in San Diego, I don't think the Chargers move to Los Angeles. I think they get their new stadium. Eli wins a boatload of games. There would have been a lot of fans. There would have been support for the team. If Eli Manning stays in San Diego instead of goes and pulls the John Elway deal, you probably still have a team in San Diego. Yeah, but Elway Edge had the Yankees in his back pocket too. Imagine Seals being our GM. Oh, my God. I would die. Hey, Jordan, I tell you this. What if I was the GM of this team, I'd be trading as much as I possibly can down because I don't think there's a lot. I don't care what the names are on the back of the jersey unless you're one of those here. Unless you're Evan Neal. Unless you're – you know who I think the biggest bust is going to be in this draft? Aiden Hutchinson. I'm not impressed with him. I've seen better edge rushers come out of college than this guy. I think watch this. I think he's Ryan Kerrigan. Is that okay? See, Ryan Kerrigan is a good comparison. But Ryan Harrigan at number 2? He'll never live up to the 2nd pick or the 1st pick or the 3rd pick. He'll never live up to that. I may be dead wrong. And we'll be back here, and some of you guys will be going, Sills, you said the guy would suck. He's got 18 sacks. I've been there. Hey, what's this? I said, hey, so you guys know I get killed sometimes? I watched Lamar Jackson play when he was put in his first year, and they took Joe Flacco out. He was atrocious. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I said, this guy will be out of the league in 5 years. He's terrible. Guy turns out to be the MVP the next year. This guy's won 80% of his ball games. This guy's led the NFL in touchdown passes. He's 1,100-yard rush. I'm going like this. Yeah, well, I was, well, Lamar, Lamar's a good player. Nick Kerrigan was a good player in Washington, right? I'm with you, man. Kyle Hamilton, you can have him. I'll take the kid from Maryland. Okay. Any rumors? Gravy, that's a good one. I'm going to take a time out here. Hey, real quick, don't forget, we're getting closer and closer to the draft party. There it is, right there. 8 o'clock. We're going to have you covered wall to wall. Live band, every single thing is going to be there for you when it comes to your Philadelphia Eagles and the NFL draft. I cannot wait until this thing happens tonight. We had a family emergency, or I would be there in Atlantic City. Believe me, man, it looks like a great time for everybody tonight. Hit the like button. We have some rumors. We're going to hit on those. We'll do it next. You keep it here on the National Football Show.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Thank you guys getting us over 100. Please keep hitting the like button there. Big Chris goes, Big Sil's banned from AC. No, I was banned from Daytona Beach one time. Too many fights. Oh, man. Sil's a card-carrying outlaw. Back in the day, man. Maybe so. By the way, do you know who the 14th and 15th rated guys are? By Daniel Jeremiah? 15 and 16, excuse me. Chris Olave and then Jameson Williams. He's got Olave ranked ahead of Jameson Williams. He sent me a text. He's checking out the show, too, while he's doing the NFL Network tonight. A bunch of those guys are friends of mine. The Eagles are probably a little busy today, so they're probably not watching it like they always do. Or maybe they are. I don't know. Okay, but Daniel Jeremiah checked it out a little bit. And he's like this. He goes, Sills, Jameson Williams, man. He goes, he's a good player, but these Ohio State kids are special players. And I'm like, let's take a look at that, for instance. Wide receivers in the NFL today not named Michael Thomas. They are who? They are who? Can you tell me? They've had all this great success. Maybe I'm missing them. I'm trying to figure out Ohio State wide receivers. Terry McLaurin? I don't know. Hey, Gravy, I don't know how that guy has succeeded in Washington with all the chaos. So you got McLaurin, and you have Michael Thomas. Imagine McLaurin. Hey, can you imagine McLaurin in Green Bay? I'm not going back in time, Lewis. I said today. So you got two receivers out of that program and no quarterbacks worth a shit. Does it bug you? Does that bug you? Zero quarterback play and limited wideouts. Marvin Harrison is a Cuse guy. And I'm talking today. Marvin Harrison went to Syracuse. Yeah, just Terry McLaurin and Michael Thomas are the only Ohio State wide receivers right now that are in the NFL that are productive. Hey, Dan, that's why the Eagles let them go. Jamison Williams transfer from Ohio State. I found that out yesterday. I didn't realize that. Yeah. So wait a minute. Ohio State had Joe Burrow and Jamison Williams, and they let them both go. So wait a minute. Let me get this right. Okay. You let Jamison Williams go, and you let Joe Burrow go. Sounds like you're on top of your P's and Q's there. And then you have Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul, and you've got some of these other stiff quarterbacks. Whew. Do I rep the ACC or Big East? I rep the ACC. Braxton Miller couldn't make a roster. It was terrible. Right? Now, some of the rumors. Let's do this. The Eagles have been talking to the Packers on moving the 18th pick and moving down to 22 and getting a third-round pick. And I think that's a for real thing. Now, I think they're moving. Now, it is the dance part. My problem at 18 is going to be this. Is Green Bay the dance partner? Or is it going to be somebody else? Howie is looking for a dance partner at 18. That's what I'm hearing. Okay? I'm hearing he's looking for a dance partner because remember what I can't emphasize this enough, guys. I cannot emphasize this enough. Okay? That there are not a lot of legitimate ones in this draft. So watch this. Here, let's say you get an 18th pick. I don't care who it is. Kid turns out to be a mediocre player. Expect it. If he's a starter for you at 18 and he gives you 5-6 years, feel that you got the best of that. You're not in the top 10 here. Okay? And quite frankly, the kids that are in the top 10, here, watch this. I'm going to use a 5-star for every kid on this list. Evan Neal. 4. Aiden Hutchinson. 4. Derek Stingley. 3.5. Thibodeau. 3.5. The NC State kid, 4.5. Charles Cross, 4. I'll tell you what, the O-linemen grade out real well. 4 is good. 4 is a starter. 5 is an all-pro. The Purdue edge rusher, Carl Aftis, 3.5. Drake London, 3.5. And I've been told this. Sauce Gardner, 4. Kyle Hamilton, 4. Then you start getting down here. The kid Walker. Here, do you have a problem with Walker going number 1 over? I'm going to tell you this. I think Doug Peterson's in a position here. He wants an offensive lineman, but Trent Baalke wants to get this kid Walker from Georgia. There's just not a ton of production. And he made his name at the combines. That kind of scares me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That kind of scares me. I got people sending me on my other computer. I got people sending me all kinds of stuff. Seals wants more dart throws for the Eagles. I do, Gravy. Bigger pool, less chance of screwing up. And you have a lesser. I don't want to blow first round draft choices on guys who are second and third round talented, evaluated guys. Do you? It's like buying a car overpriced. Nobody likes buying things overpriced. See, this draft, again, when you start getting here, watch this. Do you know what that center from Iowa's grade is? He's a 3 out of a 5. You're going to take him in the first round? Someone is going to. You're taking a third-round kid in the first round. Someone's going to get drafted. You may see guys from 25 to 32 you've never heard of. Because the difference between the first and third round, there's no difference. That's why when you start seeing people reaching for other guys and you've got a boatload of 2s and 3s, the people who have the majority of 2s and 3s in this draft are going to come out ahead. If you've got a shitload of draft choices in rounds 2, 3, and 4, man, you're going to have a good day. You're not going to overpay for them. You're not going to overvaluate them. They're going to fit right into the middle where you need, money-wise, production-wise. Kid turns out to be a starter for you in the third round. And this kid Linderbaum in any other draft doesn't go in the first round. He doesn't go in the first round. Let's see here. Nakobe Dean, 6 foot, 225. 6 foot, 225. And he's an interior linebacker. So, you think a guy 6 foot, 225 is going to take 17 games of guys like Barrett Brooks running at them? Okay. That's a little dude. He showed up at the combines 215. The Black Ed says this: Dean has elite instincts and smarts, but can he last a 17-game season? I haven't seen mocks all over the place like this. That's right, Vape, because there's no legitimate first-round picks after pick 15. 252. Dean's like 215. In the NFL, you better have some rocks in your pocket, son. Hurts is 6'1", 225, hater, and he had surgery at the end of the year. I know. This class is hey, dog, I don't know if it's there's not a lot of star guys, okay, in the draft. You know who should be the number one pick in the draft? But I don't know whatever happened to him. This kid, Derek Stingley, 3 years ago, his tape was off the charts. Now I watch him, I'm like this. What the hell happened? You know? Sauce Gardner. Yeah, man. Okay. Cincinnati. They made it to the Final Four. Had a great year. Yeah, really. Like Mo says, I just got to be something, man, because he went like this. Dude, why didn't he leave LSU then? I would have left LSU as soon as I could have. I'm out of here. So I go from the 5th round I go from the 5th pick to the 10th pick. I said, I'm out. I wouldn't have waited another year. I said, I would have. He probably stayed for Coach O. Yeah, you know what, Gravy? I like Stingley too at 15 and 18. Yeah. If Stingley's at 15 and 18, you bet. Stingley at 3? Remember something. Your Eagles are cheap too. You got to put the money into the conversation here. I'll show you top heavy. Let's go to a plastic surgeon's office. Hey, okay, I'm with you. Oh, that's right, Hater. He did, didn't he? He had Liz Frank injury. He did. Jimmy says the best player is the wide receiver from Arkansas. You want to hear something, Jimmy? You know what they graded him at Bledsoe? On a scale of 1 to 5? 3.5. But he will go in the first round. Now, again, Jimmy, nobody saw Deebo Samuel at South Carolina. I never heard of him. I actually, until last year, I had to look up what school he went to. I don't remember him at South Carolina. I don't even know if they had a decent quarterback at South Carolina. I don't remember him at South Carolina. Jets and the 49ers, keep an eye on that. That's another rumor out there for Deebo Samuel. They may want to go out and they may want to may want to make that deal. Hang on here. The Doug Peterson scenario at the top of the draft. If you're Doug, my opinion, Trevor Lawrence is the linchpin in his success. I think they're going to take Walker. But if it's me, guys, Trevor Lawrence is the guy you build this team around. So that to me means O-line. There's not a guy that I would take with the first pick that's a wideout. But wouldn't you do this if you're the Jags? And then take a ton of balls. Why don't you trade out of that 1 pick? Move down with the Giants or somebody with multiple picks. Hell, call the Eagles. And go like this. I want out of 1. There's not a guy on this board I feel comfortable going like this. He is a bona fide game-changing guy. If I'm Doug Peterson, why would I want to draft a guy number 1 overall when there's really not a guy number 1 overall in the book? That's right, Duck. Don't you know when you got an issue with a draft, get this, no one wants the first pick? Nobody wants the first pick. That's when you know you're in a draft to trade down. If you have no bona fide guy where you're landing on a pod and saying, that MFer is completely the guy I want. He is a beast. There's nobody. Well, dude, if I don't have a guy sitting at 1, if I'm Doug, and I know that the talent pool with O-line and some edge rushers, why don't I move down? Get multiple 1s maybe. Get multiple. The move in this draft is moving down. It's moving down, not up. And yet I could see Howie moving up to get somebody. Now, look, like I said, I wouldn't have a problem with Howie moving up if it's between 15 I don't want him in the top 10. And I don't want a 10th pick. But between 15 and 11, Do I feel comfortable taking Thibodeau at 11 or Sauce Gardner at 11 or Jordan Davis at 12? If he moves up there for those three dudes, because again, remember, the sequence will be important tonight. Because right now, if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, what I'm doing is I'm drafting best player available after 15. But if those quarterbacks get into the mix, guys, it's going to change the draft a little bit. That means guys are going to fall down in Howie's range. He ain't going to have to move. So my priority is going to be here. I want an edge rusher first. But if the cornerback happens to be there, McDuffie or Sauce, and the edge rusher's not there, then I'm going to take Jordan Davis. Then I'm going to move the edge down to the 3 hole because I'm still going to have to address my edge rushers. Then I'm going to look for a cornerback, maybe at 18. If not, trade down between 21 and 32. Get multiple 2s and 3s so I can move him down to the 4th hole and get those guys in rounds 2 and 3. This is really going to be about best player available in the sequence of needs that are on your team. Yeah, but Jimmy, it works when there's not a lot of first-round talent. You're right. Last year, Jimmy, there were 23 first-round available guys that people had it graded out as first-rounders. But this year, there's between 13 and 14. There's not a lot of first-round grades, but yet there's 32 picks. So you're going to be picking second-round dudes from 15 down, which means between the 15th pick and the 50th or 60th pick, all these guys are the same. All these guys are the same. Same grades. You know what's great about the NFL? See, fans look at the names at the back of the jerseys or the helmet. NFL doesn't give a shit where you played. They're going to look at a kid and they're going to go, this kid's this. How many times have you heard Barrett Brooks say, once the NFL puts a tag on you, you never get it off you? After Barrett was fighting for his job, he was saying, hey, they tagged me as a second-team guy the majority of my career. I could never shake it. That's what's happened here. Right. That's right, Chris. The Panthers could take a quarterback at 6 and move the whole thing down. Then you don't have to go best player. Then you go need and you look at the player and evaluate. First and foremost, is that guy a first? See, that's one thing I'll be doing also. I'm going to be looking at, I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking at tomorrow. Was he a first round graded talent? Was it a need? Don't ask me whether or not I think the kid can play or not. I don't know. He doesn't even have a helmet yet. I have no idea. Okay? I have no idea. None. And neither do you. Hey, Matt Corral could turn out to be Drew Brees. Nobody knows. Okay. Are you guys getting ready? This is a night tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing the kids' expressions too. You know, I actually kind of love that. But this is where football teams, I disagree with people. This is where football teams are made here, okay? Right? Hey, do me a favor, Cal. Put up our promo here. Guys, I got to tell you, stay tuned here, man. We're going to have wall-to-wall coverage here. Eagles, NFL draft. Everyone's going to be primed and ready. Everyone's been waiting for this night. I'm so sick and tired like everybody else too. Get this. So sick and tired of like everyone else just sitting around waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Well, it's finally here. I can't wait for it tomorrow too. By the way, you can follow me over on my Twitter at Dan Sileo Show too, because I'll be watching the draft and listening and watching it on JAKIB Media as well. So we shall see. I got Jordan Davis and Devin Lloyd going to the Eagles. I could still see McDuffie. Okay? I can. I could still see McDuffie doing it, but guys, thank you. Please hit the like button. Catch it tomorrow, going 3 to 6. Stay tuned for our continued coverage of the NFL Draft right here on JAKIB Media. We'll see you on the flip side.